Hello and welcome, Chippewa fans, to the women's basketball season review here on CMUChippewas.com. Justin Hoff with you, and what a season it was for the Central Michigan Chippewas as they moved into the NCAA tournament for the third time in program history, the first time in nearly 3 decades. And here to look back on the incredible season is the head coach of the Chippewas, Sue Gavar. Coach, you know, it really was a historic season for your team, and one that I know Chippewa fans will really never forget.
Well, I hope they don't forget it, Justin. It's been 30 years, and the good thing is we don't want it to be another 30 years. But it was a very successful season for us. It was one that we had a very, very challenging non-conference schedule that I kept saying from day one was going to get us ready for the MAC. And it did. It was the gift that kept on giving, even in the losses. But just because, you know, the competition that we faced and the style that we played and the type of game that we played, the magnitude of the game and games, and that's what got us ready. And that is what helped propel us through the MAC tournament and to cutting down those nets the last day.
Of course, you played Notre Dame right here at home. Of course, Notre Dame went to the Final Four, and then Oklahoma went to the Sweet 16, the team that you played in the first round of the NCAA tournament.
Well, Purdue goes to second round. You know, Marquette, it goes to third round in the WNIT, and, you know, Green Bay goes down and loses in the first round to LSU at LSU, and LSU gets into top Sweet 16. So it was, again, that gift just keep on giving.
Now, Coach, we sat in this very arena last year, and you openly said it, you know, the goal to win the MAC tournament title next year. And obviously at that point you had just lost to Eastern Michigan. It was a tough loss. But to go 365 days later to win that title, to cut down the nets in Cleveland, looking back on it, what's that like?
Fulfilling. You know, to know that all the hard work, you know, to keep the goal, to keep that goal in sight when we weren't winning, when we lost a couple games, when, you know, we lost to Ball State, we lost to Toledo back-to-back down the stretch, our last 2 home games, we lost those games. And for us to stay on course, to stay the course and believe that we could still accomplish the goal, that is probably one of the most fulfilling things that went through my mind with this team, because they stayed on board the ship.
How about you cutting down the nets? How fun was that?
That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. It was, you know, you always picture in your mind, you always are visualizing, you know, what is that going to be like? And, you know, being as tall as I am, I never really get to the bottom of the net. So to get all the way up to the rim and through the rim with the net in my hand was just a great, great feeling.
Now, you look at this accomplishment, and you also lost, you know, one of the best players in the Mid-American Conference late in the season in Jessica Green to come back to fight through that injury. But once you got to the MAC tournament, it was your 3 seniors who really took it up another level. Jessica Schroll, Jaleesa Olive, and Brandy Baker. Those 3 seniors really cemented their legacy here and left a great footprint on the program.
They did, Justin, and I'll tell you, I challenged those 3 seniors after we lost the game against Ball State on senior day, that they had to do more. They had to step their game up another level, whether it was getting another rebound, not letting the best player on the other team score, keeping somebody in front of them, getting a couple extra points, get to the free throw line. Take it upon yourselves as a class. This is your legacy. This is all your footprints that are going to be on this program. You have to take it up another level these next couple games when we had to go to Eastern Michigan and finish it out and then into MAC play. And they did. They answered the call.
They certainly did. And one person that answered the call all season long, just continues to play excellent. And we're so thrilled that she's a Chippewa, is Crystal Bradford. CB23, exclusive company, just one of 3 players across the country to lead her team in all 5 major statistical categories. The awards, the honors just keep on giving, and rightfully so. I know Crystal Bradford excited about a recent honor, Coach, and you can talk about that and just looking back on an incredible season for her.
Well, I think if you look at with her, Justin, CB, her rebounding improved, her ability to pass the ball, even though I always hear a lot of people in the stands, pass the ball, pass the ball. She was passing the ball. You know, defensively, what she did off the ball with her steals, her deflections. I remember against Oklahoma, she had the block and then the steal and then the layup down on the other end. But how she became more consistent as a player. And I think when she had a couple of those games where she didn't perform as well, I think, Justin, she was too hyped, and she knew it. And it's that over-arousal, I think, that stymied her here. So I think her understanding that and adjusting her mind frame to that. And then I think she became more accustomed, and she also started to watch a little bit more tape and watched herself, because she is, it's like I said this to you before, and I've said this to CB, you're a really good basketball player. You're a hooper. You're a true hooper. But when you become a student of the game, watch out, because then it's going to be all up here and you controlling your mind. But I will, the new honor, if you will, for CB is that she is one of 35 players across this country that has been invited to try out for the World University Games at the U.S. Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs, Colorado, May 16th through the 19th. And it is, if she were to make this team, they only take 12, then she goes to Russia for the World University Games. And I think one of the best things about that is the head coach for the World University Games is Sherry Cole from Oklahoma. And CB put up 36 and 14 against Oklahoma. So Sherry has an idea of what Crystal is capable of, and she's capable of a lot more. But I think it's just it's another feather in her cap, another feather in our program's cap, for the possibilities of what you can accomplish coming to Central Michigan University. Those are your dreams, can all be accomplished here, and be in front of great fans, but fans that appreciate your game.
Just about to bring up the point about Sherry Cole. I'm sure that she's had a little bit of nightmares about Crystal Bradford a little bit, and she'll be excited to possibly have her on her team.
Well, I would be if she put that up against me. It's funny, Justin, because when I was down in New Orleans, I had quite a few coaches come up to me and ask, who saw that game, would she want to transfer? I go, are you out of your mind? No. She's getting it done right here at Central Michigan University.
As we transition into next year, those two seniors, Nikki DeJulio, Taylor Johnson, a lot of game action for them. They're warriors, been through the ups and downs. They've been through the highs, the lows, and they'll be back for their final years at Chippewa. Those are two really good players for your team.
There's no doubt about that. And I think if you look at Nick has been, she had a pretty good season this year. If you look, shooting 40% from the three-point line. And actually this year we had two players, first time in school program history that we've had two players that have shot 40% from the three-point line. And the other one is Kirby Tam, who will be a junior. And then Taylor. Taylor is she's probably one of our most versatile players, and because she is our enforcer, she shoots the three, she can get to the basket. This year she's taken more charges than I can't remember any other player that has taken as many charges as she has this year, and they both have that game experience, and we're going to need that. And I think the other thing, Justin, if you look at for the last 3 years that Nick and Tay, and you look at Kylie, those three for sure, we've won 3 seasons in a row of 20 games or more. So they know how to do it. And now the challenge for them is next year. What is next year's senior class, this next senior class, what's the legacy they're going to lead when they leave this program?
It'll definitely be one of the all-time winningest senior classes in Chippewa history. But final question for you, Coach. You win the MAC tournament title. You take Oklahoma to the brink of elimination. Oklahoma then goes on to beat UCLA and is in the Sweet 16. Next year, as you go into the offseason, what are you telling your team for goals for next season, 2013, 2014?
Well, we want more. I think that, we won the MAC tournament, okay? So we were playing some pretty good basketball down the stretch. Let's get by that next game. Let's continue to move on. Let's continue to develop as players, because today, Justin, it's a new year. It's a new year. So you go, okay, what happened? That's great. It's fun. We got watches. We got rings. Well, you know what? What about next year? Do you want to have that same feeling of cutting down the net? Do you want to have that same feeling of satisfaction knowing, okay, look, now we're in the tournament. Now guess what? We want to win. We want to win a game and then move on from there. but to continue, the bar's high now, to continue to keep climbing the ladder. I mean, a Sweet 16. I think the last team in the MAC to get to the Sweet 16 was Bowling Green. It's doable. That's what, Justin, it's doable, but it's going to take a lot of hard work.
Well, Coach, I know one thing that you said all season long, in March you wanted to go undefeated as long as you could, and I think that's a great goal for next year. But thanks for your time all season long. We're really happy with the program, man. It was just a perfect season, really.
It was, perfect is undefeated, Justin. So, it was a season where we accomplished what we wanted to, and I think, for our fans, our fans saw some really good basketball. They were here in the McGurk, and they saw some good teams come in here. And I thought when we traveled in Cleveland, we had a great contingency of people. When we went to St. John Arena to play in Columbus, that was our home court because our fans have just been absolutely great. And I just want to say thank you so much to our fans for all their support, for seeing them, for hearing them. And actually, for making my job easier, because when people see the McGurk full, players want to come here and play because they know they're going to be appreciated for how hard they play.
Well, it's going to be another full season, hopefully next year with all the crowds. But, Coach, thanks again for all your time.
All right, Justin, thanks.
That wraps up our coverage of the 2012-2013 season. As we've talked about, it was an incredible season for the Chippewas and one we will remember for many years to come. For the latest news and notes on your Chippewas, be sure to log on to cmuchippewas.com. For everyone here at the CMU Sports Network, I'm Justin Hoff. Thank you for watching.